Welcome to the Seasons of Singleness podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Tiffany Sneebros. Seasons of Singleness. Seasons of Singleness. Hey y'all. What is up? First of all, you have not made it to the wrong video. I know, this may seem like a catfish, but it is not. I promise you, it is not. Um, those pictures were professionally taken. All right. Me, it's just me. Y'all gonna get me. Okay. That's what this is gonna be. It's just gonna be me. Okay. You might get a little guest or two every now and again, but for the most part, it's me. For the free 99. Okay. Um, yeah, but that's not why we're here. That's not why you clicked on this link here. That's not why you are listening via whatever platform you're listening from or watching on YouTube. Um that first joke was more so for the people that are watching on YouTube, for my visual learners, if you will. But hey, y'all, I know most of you probably know me from finding the beauty in your struggle and really like having those real conversations around like healing and what that means through the stories of myself, through moi. But yeah, it was time. It was time. Like, it's kind of one thing to have a conversation via a social media platform, and not to say that this isn't going on social media, but yeah, it's one thing to have a conversation via social media. I kind of have to hone in on certain things. You got to be a certain way. You got to make sure that you're not offending anybody and yada, yada, yada. But on podcasts, it's free game. So, welcome to you out there to Seasons of Singleness, the podcast uncensored with your host, Tiffany Sneebros. Yeah. Yeah, and as you can tell, this is gonna be very low budget. It's gonna give what it's gonna give, but I can guarantee you that there will be an impact had. There's gonna be a time. Okay. All right. First things first, let's get a few things out the way. It's a little I live in Baltimore City. It be a little ghetto outside sometimes. And I'm here for that. I love my city. Ain't nobody about to tell me about my city, but you may hear honking, horns. You might hear some gunshots. You never know. It's the dead of summer. People doing fireworks, and they ain't even 4th of July. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just letting y'all know, if you hear some background noise, I am okay. Okay, if I keep talking, you keep listening. That's it. All right. And then two, these are real life experiences. This ain't coming from no what I think, whatever. I am going to give you the real life experience of me and my seasons of singleness and what that means and what that meant for my healing process. In turn, my hope is that it'll help someone else with theirs. Um, yeah, I'm hoping that this will bless your spirit. On to the podcast. All right. So the way that this is gonna be had, pretty much, like, this is a conversation, okay? Especially because it's just me. Like, it's one thing like for me to be on a podcast with another person, and then it's like dialogue back and forth. But I like to typically think of this as us having dialogue. So it's gonna be real me talking to y'all. Like I'm in front of you. I mean, I am in front of you, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. So, first things first, when it comes to single life, like I gotta give you the rundown. I have to give you the rundown. Okay. So first things first, like you could not have been single without being in a relationship. It's like how? Well, no, okay, I lie. You can be single without having the experience of a relationship. But I'm gonna start my story from my experience of my relationship. Okay. And yeah, like I remember being like super, super young, early, low, late teens, I want to say, like, the transition from high school to college. And I have always been the type of person that is just like really, I don't want to say like goal oriented, but once I have my mind on something, like I'm going to finish it, I'm going to accomplish it, then that's just what it is. Like I'm very focused. When I have my mind set on something, I'm focused, I'm geared towards that. And that's just what it is. Like, tunnel vision, right? And that was me in high school. I didn't really talk to nobody. I lost my virginity at 14, so it wasn't like I wasn't out here fucking. But at a point where I was like focused on academics, like that's just what I was focused on, academics. Doing what I need to do. I had a job. Um, yeah, like sis was outside. I had extracurricular activities. I was um At one point, I was like co-captain of like the dance team. It was really cool. And we had to be a part of the dance team in order to be like in order to keep our cheerleading spots. And then yeah, it was child. Okay, not to go back, right? Because we're moving forward. I mean, well, technically, we are discussing the past. So anyway, anyway, all of those things were happening at once, and everything was good for me. I had a good run in high school. Had good friends that kind of helped me down, vice versa, and it was lit. Like I didn't get into too much trouble. I was out the way. um Made it out, and off to college I went. But in the midst of that, my senior year, I started dealing with this guy that I met in the previous high school that I went to. We're talking for a while. I think we had been talking for like almost like a year or so. And I wound up going to the same college that he went to. And when I was still in high school, he was a year before me. So he was already there at school. And yeah, I met up with him all the time. Our schools literally were right across the street from each other. If you are familiar with West Baltimore, shout out to Douglas High School and shout out to Coppin State University. Um, Both historically black institutions. So yeah, know her.
Bitch, what?
No, but yeah, so they were literally right next door to each other, right across the street. And I remember like telling folks like I am not going to Coppin. Like I don't want to do that because it's literally right across the street. I don't want to do that. But guess who did it? Me. So to Coppin I went. And yeah, I went there. I did the summer program, met some cool people. It was real lit or whatever. And everybody was kind of like trying to get tea on like what's up with sis. I used to hang around the guys all the time, but I never really like wanted any of the guys. Like I not the guys in my class anyway. Like I just didn't want them. They was cool, but just wasn't my cup of tea. But I was still talking to this one individual, and nothing really progressed. I remember me finding out that he was still dealing with this girl that we both went to high school with. He said that he wasn't, and then I found the picture on the keys. Y'all, it was a whole bunch of BS, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm out. Like I'm done talking to your ass. But then, for those of you who are familiar, and for those of you who aren't, I'm still going to tell the story. There is like a procedure, pretty much like there is a freshman moving week. So I stayed on campus after the summer program. I was like, oh, this is dope. I want to do this. Blah, blah, blah. Met all these cool people. I'm staying on campus. Like, and that was like it for me. Found the money to kind of do that, stayed on campus, and before everyone else moves in, freshmen are typically supposed to move in the week before so they can kind of get acclimated to the campus without all of the hassle of everybody else. They have special programs and stuff like that, and just fun stuff for everybody to do, honestly. You to mix, mingle, parties, it be lit. And sure enough, again, a time was had. And in the midst of that time being had, I was enjoying myself. Like I didn't have to see him, whatever, whatever. Child. And then come moving week for everybody else, and guess who I saw? This nigga. So here it is. Like we're talking, we kind of rekindle things. But same shit. Like they say, what's the saying, y'all? They be like, if you allow someone to show you who they are, like you need to take them for who they are, pretty much. And that's the biggest lesson that I learned. And whenever it comes to dealing with the individuals of the opposite sex anyway, like you just take people for how they are. You're never supposed to necessarily change those folks. You get your feelings hurt each and every time you try to. But yeah, did the situationship thing. So I wasn't necessarily like, I don't know if I was really expecting a relationship because we had been dealing with each other for so long. It was just like, I did this for a year. Like one thing that I found out with it, which was like the ultimate kicker for me, like the ultimate disrespect. We lived in the same dorm. Now he lived on a different floor from me, so it was like, okay, cool. And I remember like I don't know if somebody told me, and this was another thing, y'all. Like people would come up to me and tell me shit like all the time, like, oh, it really used to get on my nerves. And I'm just like, bro, I think I tweeted that recently. Like if you see me post a motherfucker, like if I'm posting somebody and I look happy and you know something, don't tell me.
I'm an innocent bystander.
Let me find out on my own. Like everything that's done in the dark will soon come to the light anyway. Just let me find out on my own. I don't have time for that. Don't fuck up my happiness. But anyway, neither here nor there. I don't know how I found out that he was messing with this girl, and when I had confronted him about it, he was like, "Oh no, that's not, whatever, whatever. People just be telling you whatever." Come to find out, I'm leaving a caf one day, and I see him and the girl at the elevator. And if you are familiar with like any college campus, when it comes to like dorms or anything like that, the elevators are typically right in front. Like the RA's desk or check-in desk is typically in the front, and then you have like the way to get upstairs is typically like in the front, like in the area, so everybody can see you. And the way that we had it, like we had a glass corridor, kind of like you could see straight through the building. And I seen them standing in the elevator, and I don't know if he saw me and then booked it for the fucking steps. But by that time, I had already saw you, son. Like it didn't even matter. I saw you. You were busted.
Gotcha, bitch.
Inserts meme. He was busted. I already saw him. And I remember just being like, I have time for this. Like, I don't want to do this. And I remember one time, like, I used to have I ain't gonna say I used to have a lot of beef. It used to be very imaginary. Like I remember like coming to sis, not like as a woman, but like, hey girl, like I apologize for the part that I played, like all of the looks and all this other extra kitty ass shit. Even though I was a child, like I was fucking 18. But like when you feel like this person is your person, and not like necessarily in a possessed or possessive type of way, but this is like, yeah, and anybody that come and threaten that, you got, what's up with you? Like, it's sometimes it be about that, and that's okay. But make sure the other person is also that about you. Because if not, you look silly. And I'm gonna say that from experience. You look silly.
You look dusty.
So I had to go apologize to sis and everything else, and we were just talking, and our relationship or bond kind of grew out of that, like out of the maturity of it all. Um, she's a really dope individual. But anyway, neither here nor there. So after that, I was just like, I am tired. Like, I'm tired of the situationship thing. Like, I didn't like wasted time. Again, remind y'all, when I'm laser focused on something, I am focused, tunnel vision, seeing it through. And that was like, yeah, my time wasted. I ain't have time for that. I ain't have time for that. So typically the the scale for me is like, okay, I gave a person a chance after trying for so long. Right? And then it just don't work out. Like it doesn't necessarily work out. Regardless of what the circumstances, it could be on my part, it could be on his, but it just doesn't work out, right? So it's like, all right, you go through this cycle of, oh my gosh, is it me? Like, did I do this? Um, is it something that I said? Is it something that I'm not doing? Like you just go through that whole notion, that whole process. But yeah, it's really, really hard for me to kind of move on after the fact. So once I do meet someone new, it's like, well, are you gonna treat me like the others treated me? Is it gonna be the exact same thing? Like, what's tea? What's good? But the one thing that I've learned from those experiences anyway, you can't treat people the way that someone treated you. The fireworks are going to kill me. I thought I got shot. You can't necessarily think that everybody is going to treat you the exact same way someone else treated you before. That's going to stop that. That literally limits your growth. It limits your experiences because now you are kind of not really complacent, but you are really just thinking about what happened in the past, and you're not even focused on what's happening right now. Like, what is happening in front of you? What are you experiencing right now with this person? Regardless of what happened in the past, with someone else, this is a totally new person, so they deserve something different. They deserve something new. And I can honestly say that back in those times, that just wasn't me. But I realized, like, in those moments, like, I can't sit and wallow in what could be or what could have been. I have to take action, right? And I did not want to be um I didn't want to be like damaged goods for somebody else. Like it's like, you know, on to the next. Y'all, and that like honestly took so much to get there because when I tell you this man played in my face so bad, like to the point where he had not random shorties, but like shorties would come and ask me questions about him, like, um, oh yeah, I heard y'all was messing with each other, or y'all used to mess with each other, and it's like, bitch, we still mess with each other. Like, calm down. But um, just the y'all, the craziest shit, like craziest. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm a hot commodity on this campus. Fuck you, I'm out. And out the fuck I was. But I remember telling myself, like, I don't want to walk into the next situation with baggage. I don't want to walk into the next situation just feeling fucked up, like I don't want to walk into this next situation just being like, oh, the next anything. Like I didn't want to walk into the situation doing the exact same things that I did before, which was kind of like placing blame or just playing victim or allowing stuff that I don't want to happen in a relationship happen in the fucking relationship. Like you have the power to kind of change your narrative. And that I did. So I told myself that once I found this new person or the next person, I was going to go after what the fuck I wanted. And that's what I did.